Did you know that the government has the authority to hold anyone under suspicion? More specifically, according to EBSCOhost, apprehended individuals can be detained or deported by immigration officials if suspected of terrorist activities, all without being charged of any crimes. I'll touch more on this later, but just be aware that one document, the USA Patriot Act, gives authority to the federal government that affects our daily lives. As a well-read student of this law and document, I will be presenting to you 3 controversial topics surrounding the USA Patriot Act. Firstly, I'll be discussing how the Patriot Act provides the government with the ability to investigate through national surveillance efforts. Next, I'll be talking about how the Patriot Act allows for greater communication between government departments. And lastly, how the Patriot Act has a variety of uses other than the creator's intentions. As mentioned, one of the new abilities of the government is to investigate through national surveillance. This provides a new level of safety needed after the 9/11 terrorist attacks. With nuclear warheads and other massive weapons that can destroy cities in seconds, it's necessary to take all preventative measures, especially because, as Gertz pointed out, terrorists have made no secrets about their desire for such weapons. However, national surveillance can be seen as unconstitutional on the grounds that it is an unreasonable search and seizure, which goes against our Bill of Rights. National surveillance allows for tracking of all our electronic transactions, such as online searches or purchases, all of it. And many see this as an unjust imposition upon us because it goes against our Bill of Rights. We dealt with one issue of getting the information. Another issue found during the 9/11 terrorist attacks was communication between departments. So, according to Gertz, intelligence officers and criminal investigators often couldn't share information with each other, even when they were right down the hall and working on the same terrorist case. Our ability to fight terrorism was inhibited by the inability to coordinate with our own government. However, it is argued that the ability to communicate was already there. In after-the-fact interviews, some officials admitted that the ability to share the information that was pertinent to the case was there, they just didn't take hold of those opportunities. And another issue that arises with the Patriot Act is that it does have a variety of uses, other than its creator's intentions. With proper interpretation, the Patriot Act can be used to fight many other cases. According to Meserly, using the Patriot Act, we could use it to fight the war on drugs, curb organized crime, track kidnappers, and etc. However, using the Patriot Act to do this expands its power, and this expansion of power would even further grow this act, which already has is already in a massive document and has large amounts of power to it. We can see where some of the abuses could come in and some of the worries could come in the case of Yezer Amdi. He was held for 4 years in a military prison on insubstantial evidence. So, you can see in the Patriot Act that with every up there's a down, and it presents a whole lot of controversial benefits. And by this I mean that, while there are some positives, with every positive there seems to be a negative side effect or a negative use. So although there are good intentions, there are necessary warnings to go with the Patriot Act before we expand this document or we pass it through legislation again. In the 3 things I talked about, there are positives and negatives. In national surveillance, what allows for the prevention of terrorists, it also goes against our Bill of Rights. In communications, it can be seen as a grab of power because the ability was said or reported to have already been there, and it can also be seen as another extension of power or a power grab when we use it for other intentions because they operate behind closed doors whenever they invoke the Patriot Act. Consider what Benjamin Franklin had to say. Those who would give up liberty to purchase a little temporary safety deserve neither liberty nor safety. Are the benefits of this piece of legislation necessary?
Yay, amen, we finished. again.